Hey, how's it going? This is the acrylic painting that we'll be doing for the tutorial today. A good first step is to start with thumbnail sketches and see which one you like best, and then we'll use acrylic paints, a canvas, brushes, water, and then either paper towels or a reusable cloth that you're okay with getting dirty. And I'm really liking this thicker, wavier flame, so I'm going to use this one as my inspiration. The next step is to add the background color to the canvas. I've already painted a layer of silver. I want it to be more opaque, so I will add more layers after this. You want to make sure that the first layer is dry so that the next layer is nice and clear. I like to paint the edges of the canvas, so right now I'm painting the top of the canvas. I'm painting a second coat on the front of it. I'll go corner to corner. I'm also trying to work quickly so that way that second layer really blends in together. I'm adding one more layer. This is the third layer. This is just my personal preference. The first or second layers would have been just fine, but I prefer to be more blended and more opaque. For the backbone of the flame, I'm going to create a sinuous curve, which is like a large S shape. In the art world, those are used for things that are usually natural and eye-catching. Here I'm adding a little bit more definition to the flame. Now that we have the center structure of the flame in place, we can start adding the side pieces and start filling it in. The key at this stage is for the very bottom and the very top to be a bit thicker and the middle to be a little bit thinner, and that'll help give the illusion of motion. When I made the three flames, I made one lower, in the middle, and higher. That way it adds some interest and they're not all at the same height. For the tips of the flames, I'm using smaller brushes and being more careful because I want the tips to be a little bit more wispier. I'm also starting to pay attention to the outline of the flame at this point. I'm using smaller brushes and going a little bit slower so that way it can be a nice, clean, crisp line. I don't want it to be watery or blurry, just nice and crisp. I'm starting to connect the side flames to the main flame. That way it looks like it's one unit and not just chunked together. Okay, I thought about deleting this part out because usually I delete the parts where I'm not actually painting. But I think watching my brush move around and watching me think is kind of cute. It's like, there, maybe there, there. Also, I like to paint the edges. That's just a personal preference, you don't have to, but I think it looks more finished that way. At this point, I'm starting to add the Flyaway flames. I'm going a little bit higher than the largest main flame at the bottom, and they're just a little bit thinner too. And you can really get creative with the shapes of the Flyaway flames. For example, this one's a U shape, and I'm going to make some parts thinner and some parts thicker for that movement. At this point, the painting is dry, so I'm going over some areas to make them more opaque or more thicker, and just kind of touching it up. Now that the flames have been formed and the little flyaway flames have been added, I'm going back and adding some black to kind of accent some of the areas. You could use like a really dark purple or even a totally different color. and it just adds a little bit of depth to the painting. Here I'm adding kind of a close-up view so you can kind of see what some of the details are. I really enjoyed making this painting and tutorial. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good day.